Liverpool won, Real Betis 0 in Liverpool's first pre-season game under the Arne Slot era. And I have to say, Liverpool kicked it off looking pretty positive, looking pretty good. I'd say the majority of the team played very well. There was encouraging signs, positive signs, taking into account that there was probably maybe around 10, 11 first-team players missing, no recognised striker. Arne Slot had to obviously, change his system and make some tactical changes. And Liverpool were very much in control, very dominant, only really conceded one real chance, and that Nyoni kid, however you say his name, I honestly was not familiar with that kid at all, but he came on when Curtis Jones came off injured, and he looked absolutely incredible. He looked like he is a real generational star, a talent. Could he be Liverpool's sort of Maino, where, he really impresses in pre-season and he comes through, and the next thing, we start for England in the final. But this was the lineup Liverpool played. Obviously, Curtis Jones came off injured, and this Nyoni kid came off in a more of advanced midfield role. And I would say, probably the worst player was Endo. He didn't look 100%. Now, of course, this is a pre-season friendly, and you can't fully judge games off pre-season friendlies, but I'm going to give you my thought and analysis as sort of a non-Liverpool fan and what I saw from the game. And I'm going to be honest with you, I may have missed things because I have watched this game off the back of coming back from a night out with a few drinks, but I'm going to break down what I saw, what were the encouraging signs, and then potential, signings that I think Liverpool should make just based off this game. But of course, it's pre-season, but left back, midfield, some suggestions, etc. as well. So what did I see just generally in terms of Arne Slot ball, patterns of play, style of play, and then we're going to talk about individuals like Nyoni, like Conor Bradley really impressed me. Morton looked good. Just a couple of good performances like Quansah and Sepp. But I think obviously you can't really do like a tactical deep dive on this or completely break down Arne Slot's tactics, because it's clear that he's going to use a different formation when the Premier League season starts and slightly different tactics. But I think the main principles were there. With maybe 10, 11 key players out still on holiday, there was a style there, and you could see that with the youth players and the substitutions being played, but they were building out from the back. It was possession dominant with a strong out of possession structure, reliant on ground coverage and pressing, and making sure that they were moving the ball forward, and the aim was to attack and play the ball forward. I'd say throughout the whole game, Liverpool were very much in control. As I said earlier, only really conceding one real chance, and the off-the-ball structure was good. What I saw from Liverpool was more that whenever they lost the ball and the movement to get back in shape. Maybe there was periods when they were a little bit too narrow to begin with, and I think maybe the first 15 minutes was more about growing and getting used to it, as you'd expect under a new manager, and of course, obviously, getting minutes in the legs as well and getting used to playing again. And obviously there's a lot of players that were sort of out as well, key players were out, but I did think you could sort of see in terms of what they were trying to do in terms of system, style of play. It was move the ball around nicely, make sure you work hard off the ball, get in possession, be quite compact, particularly out of possession, pushing people wide. You could see elements of Arne Slot ball in that game as well. And I think even when the youngsters came on, that still kind of remained as well. So the learning of how he wants to play, the learnings, instructions, I think that's an encouraging side, because, you're not necessarily going to go win that game 5-6-0. I think this pre-season is really difficult because of the Euros. You're going to have so many key players missing for every team that there's going to be a lot of people missing. But I do think that considering you didn't have that extra quality from international players, it was very good, very encouraging signs. I think you just missed that extra quality in the final third that may have come. But I think for the most part, it was very positive. Arne Slot said this on it. He said, "We played with a double 10. We're not going to do that during the season, but we don't have a striker at the moment. Once we have a centre forward, we will set up differently. There are a few positives and a few things to improve. We only conceded one big chance. We controlled the game really well and had a few good attacks." I think he comes across quite well in that interview. Liverpool played pretty well, but he's not going to get carried away. But he's saying, there's always things to improve, which is obvious there as well. And they played with sort of a double 10. I feel like it was a 4-2 kind of 4 formation. That was probably what I picked out it to be, but you might have said it differently. Szoboszlai then described the tactics. He said, "I think that's the goal, what we want to do. If Harvey drops on one side, I'm going in the middle, and I'm dropping on the other side. Harvey's coming to the middle. I don't know if it's going to be like that this season, but until the manager wants us to do this, then probably we're going to do this." So he's basically saying that he and Harvey were sort of the attacking midfield centre forwards that were kind of dropping with each other, but I don't know if they'll do that going forward. But I want to talk about this Nyoni kid. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't watch Liverpool Youth, I don't watch Liverpool Academy, and this Nyoni kid isn't a player I'm familiar with, but he looked impressive. He reminded me of watching United and pre-season last year, well, yeah, we brought a few academy players on, and there were some really impressive displays from academy kids for Manchester United pre-season. But there was this one guy that always stood out, and it was Kobbie Mainoo. He was just unbelievable. He looked so comfortable, so composed on the ball. He was playing good passes, making things happen. And Nyoni, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he has elements of that in him, and probably a little bit more attacking minded than Kobbie Mainoo. And obviously, this is one game, and Kobbie Mainoo did this over all the games in pre-season and then got injured. But I said after 3 pre-season games, I said Kobbie Mainoo is the answer for England. And people would have called me crazy. You can actually go and watch those videos on my main channel, my Man United channel. But I said after 3 games of watching Kobbie Mainoo in pre-season, not actually started a game for United, I said, nah, this guy's got to start Rice and Bellingham in midfield. I said, I think this guy is the guy to start Rice and Bellingham in midfield. I think, I was amazed with how good Kobbie was. And of course, I was probably hyping him up too much because I was a Man United fan. But I remember saying, oh, Kobbie, Rice, Bellingham, that could be England's answer. He'd not even played a Premier League game for United. But sometimes when you watch a kid, you see it. And this guy's one of those players where he definitely has that something different about him. He definitely has that something special about him where he could be that generational talent, because Jones comes off, and I thought Liverpool got better when Jones came off. And I do think that Curtis Jones is an undervalued player. I think he brings a lot. I don't think he's a bad player at all. And I think some Liverpool fans maybe don't see that. But I thought they looked so much better when this guy came on, because when he got the ball, he was making things happen. He was exciting. He was, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to make something happen, I want to impress. He wasn't playing it safe. You're a young player, you get an opportunity, you don't want to give the ball away, play it safe. He wasn't doing that. His vision and pass and execution is fantastic. You saw these immense technical qualities. Very press resistant, very comfortable on the ball. Come at me, challenge me, I'll just get past you. I can move the ball around very well. Very comfortable receiving the ball at all angles. Got all those technical qualities. But his execution, vision of pass and weight of pass was absolutely phenomenal, because he essentially played that pass which resulted in the Szoboszlai goal. And everything that sort of happened, because I think the best spell for Liverpool was probably the last 15 minutes of the first half, was coming through this Nyoni kid, because he could make runs past defenders. He didn't really give the ball away. His retention was good, but under pressure, releasing the pass, knowing when to play the pass, knowing when to get the ball, knowing where to get the ball, knowing when to release the pass, doing that under pressure in a high pressure scenario so comfortably, so young, is so rare. I believe he's only just 17. Always getting the ball, getting it forward, getting the game ticking. I thought he was good in build-up. I thought he was comfortable under the press. He was taking on players, playing risky passes, didn't look out of place. And I think he even could have got an assist there. I think he was really impressive. And Szoboszlai even said on the player, I like him or not, he's a really offensive player. I just said on the bench, Quansah, you can't even foul him because of movement and stuff like that. His movement, his ability to manipulate defenders was very good. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the defence, because I thought Liverpool was solid, clean sheet, 1-0 win. And one guy that stood out is Conor Bradley. And Conor Bradley's in a very difficult position, because you've got Trent, who's arguably the best right back in the world, has got these world-class qualities. So Conor Bradley's not going to start a right back. But obviously Trent can play in midfield if used properly, unlike Southgate, who did not use him properly in midfield and did not use him to the best of his abilities. So there's a question mark. Should Bradley even play on the left back, inverted if need be? Maybe. But he's almost too good to completely be a bench player, if I'm going to be honest. Conor Bradley was probably one of the most impressive young players that came through at Liverpool last season, because he had massive boots to fill in Trent's absence. And Liverpool went on a really good one where Conor Bradley, McAllister, who was playing a bit more advanced, and Salah linked up really well on the right-hand side last season. And I think, Conor Bradley showed today that he was very good in terms of complementing Salah. I think it works well. We made those confident runs in behind Betis' lines, looking to impact the game going forward, making runs behind the lines, making runs in behind, ready to impact the game going forward. But what you get with him is he's very solid defensively. He knows when to get back. He knows when to position himself. He's very much a right-back version of Robertson. He's very comfortable at overlapping, proper traditional right-back. But I think he has the qualities in possession and the confidence to potentially invert in midfield if need be. But I think what Conor Bradley brings, which makes him exciting, is that different level of energy and youthfulness. It's like he runs and runs and runs, and he will never give up. And when Arne Slot's style of play is so demanding, you need to cover so much ground, it's so high intensity, so pressing. It's one of the most demanding styles of football you play. The energy that he brings to press, to position himself, to get up, down, because fullback is such a demanding role in terms of fitness. He's so eager to get stuck in, make things happen, press, work back. And he's very comfortable 1v1 and going forward defensively, but also the positional sense to know when to run forward and connect with Salah, to know when to get back. I thought his discipline was good. I think his out possession work was good, but his eagerness and energy to get forward and make things happen, I think, is something that Liverpool could value highly. I thought Van den Berg and Quansah looked very solid, looked very comfortable and experienced on the back, very comfortable on the ball, looked naturally good, very solid, very composed. Impressive signs from them. I think that Van den Berg guy is probably going to go, but again, he didn't I thought it maybe even had a better game than Quansah. Like, on the ball, looked very natural, very well suited, like they've been playing together for a while, like they've been playing on the slot for a while. You wouldn't think that this is the first time they're playing on the slot. They just looked comfortable. They looked experienced. They knew what to do with situations. They dealt with it well. They didn't put a foot wrong. And in general, I think Quansah here, 100% successful dribbles, 94% passing percentage, 50% duels won. Very comfortable on the ball. Very good player with good potential there. So let's dive into my general notes to conclude this video. I thought the youth showed promise. I think Morton looked good. Nyoni was probably standout. Conor Bradley looked good. Bajcetic looks good. Obviously, I probably missed things. Didn't really tune in much to the second half. I'm going to be totally honest. It was more I was talking to my mate. But obviously, I support Man United, but you know what I mean. I'm not interested really in Liverpool's youth. Sorry, guys. But I do like following football, and I was interested to see how Arne Slot does. But obviously, Endo, I think, didn't have the best game. I think 6 signing could be needed. I thought Bajcetic did better, but he's going to take time to develop. I thought Carvalho probably needed a bit of time to develop. I've not included him in this because he's so young and he's had a lot of time out of football. Javier, I don't think he had his best game. I think Szoboszlai looked decent and had more freedom and a more advanced role. And I think potentially like he did at Leipzig, where he played a more attacking, more advanced role, you could see him do that under Arne Slot, and he may get the best out of Szoboszlai. I think Slot, made it work and showed that he could adapt systems. I've got no number 9. I'm going to play a different formation. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find a way. I think he showed tactical versatility. I think Liverpool probably looking at that would need a left back, potentially a left back with the ability to play left centre back with Matip going, hybrid type player. Calafiori probably would have been perfect, but he's at Arsenal. A DM, a potential winger for depth, maybe right wing, potentially left wing for depth. We know Arne Slot likes his wingers and likes to rotate wingers. There was probably elements of a 4-2-4 in that, but I think that's going to change with obviously key players coming back. But it was very high intensity, very good out of possession structure, trying to force people wide. You saw elements of what he was trying to do. Now, these would probably be my predictions / suggestions of what Liverpool could do signing-wise. I think Anthony Gordon would be really good for signing for Liverpool. I don't think it's completely off. Patrick could be one to watch with his abilities to play left back and left centre back. And then at DM, obviously, I think Reefer's gone and Nana's gone. I mean, these are my realistic picks here for DM. I think, Camara, Decore could be a bit expensive. Stiller doesn't want to move. Subamendi probably won't be my first pick just because of the physicalness that I think Slot likes in his midfield. I don't think Edison's going to happen. So these would be my realistic options for DMs that Liverpool should look at. Let me know your thoughts down below, Liverpool fans. How are you feeling? Thank you for watching. Bye.